I'm the CEO of Fieldist. Happy to be here. I'm going to talk to you today about leveraging generative AI, ChatGPT-4, for those who know that name a bit more. There are several LM models out there, Claude, etc. But it's more of a topic. Generative AI in general, how are we using the latest technology and how can it be used to improve field sales? What do we do at Fieldist? Our goal is to make life better for ag retail field reps on the road, in the field. To accomplish that, we've built Fieldist Scribe. It's a platform, native apps, iOS and Android, web browser version integrated in a single platform to help them do a better job, do their jobs faster, more conveniently, more easily for their customers, their employers, and themselves. We've done that by taking the latest in generative AI and packaging it into a specific sales enablement tool for the ag retail sales reps. Sales enablement tool is not a CRM. I'm an ex-sales rep. The letters CRM sends a shiver down my spine, right? Ooh, right? Admin time, 20%, my boss, you have to fill that stuff out. I want to earn commissions with that time. So that natural tug between CRM, it's not a CRM. It's not meant to be a CRM. It's a sales enablement tool designed by an ex-sales rep for ag retail sales reps. What does it look like? That's what it looks like, right? It's got components, mobile phone, your device, tablet, it's almost always a phone. We built it for Apple, right, iOS and Android, and then I've found 100% of our pilot customers only have iPhones. I have yet to find an Android phone at an ag retail sales rep's pocket. I don't know why, right? But that's the reality. So my CTO's yelling at me, why did I spend all that time building for Android? What a waste of time. I said, you never know, maybe we'll find one. But for the moment, 100% of people using it are only on iPhones. Curious, right? Functionality is different. When you're out in the field, you can do like create sales notes, you can create field notes, then you're gonna do with your device when you're out and about. And when you're back in the office, at your desk, web browser version, functionality customized for each of those environments. Generative AI models and agentic agents. What are agentic agents? Very good question, ask my CTO, right? I gave you a simple answer. He's the guy who really knows. He says, they're things I write, they're tools, so the AI knows what to do on its own. That's how he dumbs it down for me. I'll leave it at that. I do sales. So what have we done? We have 4 different generative AI models that we use, custom trained where necessary, combined with agentic tools that proprietary ones we've designed and built ourselves, whose sole purpose, all that together, is to support the activities a sales rep does day to day, helping their farmer customers. So it's a voice-based AI companion, right? Specifically designed to be a sales rep's personal executive assistant. Secretary in quotes, the old word, but that kind of captures the spirit. You can just say, hey, Scribe, add the following task to the Wilkins farm. Hey, Scribe, I'm heading out to the Brady farm. Can you read me back the summary from my last trip report? Hey, Scribe, what's the rain fast of Fierce XLT? Right? Back when I was in sales, I actually had my own secretary. It was called a secretary back then, gender neutral, right? I don't mean anything by the words in itself, but that person back at the office enabled me to sell literally 80 to 90% more. I could almost double sales because I had that support back in the office. And that's what I've tried to mimic. I've tried to use generative AI to give sales rep their own digital executive assistant with knowledge of that rep's customers and their farms, and one that could answer. Some of the sales reps said, you know, there are thousands of chemical products. There are 1,000 herbicides alone. I can't memorize all that information. What's the storage temperature? What's the rain fast? What's the application? Is it Roundup? Et cetera, et cetera. And I said, what if you could just ask a question and get a simple answer? You can find it today. You go to Safari, you download the PDF, you look up whatever you're trying to find out in the 50-page PDF on the product label. But what if you could just ask a question and get a straight answer? They're like, that would be really convenient. So that's part of Scribe. What are the key things we do? My first trip in a pickup truck with a sales rep, when I was doing the research phase, was we went out to a farm, rep had a coffee cup and a big pen. And he was leaning against the cab, chatting with the farmer, and he started taking notes on his coffee cup. At the end of the day, he had 5 coffee cups. And at the end of the day, he took the notes in those coffee cups and copied them into a paper journal. And a month or 2 later, when he'd filled that paper journal, he tossed it out in the corner of his living room at home and got a newspaper journal. I said, what do you do with that information? He said, well, I write it down, but I can't access it ever again. I can never find it. I'm like, okay, well, what if we made it much simpler? You're going to talk a lot more than you're going to write. When you finish that customer visit, you're at the farm gate, you hop back in the pickup, just tap a button and say, hey, Scribe, sales note for Rainbow Farms. And just talk. Just do a verbal dump. Don't structure it. Don't think about it too much. Just tell me what went on in that sales visit. You talked about tariffs. You talked about what fertilizer he wants to put down post-emergence. You talked about what he might be doing a winter double crop or not. Whatever you talked about. Or was a social visit. You talked about the upcoming county fair. It doesn't matter. Just do your verbal dump. You don't have to write anything. You can do it while you're driving down the road on the way to your next visit. We'll take that information, we'll structure it, we'll transcribe it, and we'll give you a trip report, automatically generated, summary, to-dos, and main points. And that's going to be attached to that customer. And the next time you're going out, 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, depending on what your frequency is, you can say, hey, Scribe, read me back the summary of my last trip report to Rainbow Farms. And as you're driving down there, it'll tell you what you talked about. It'll remind you of the to-dos that you had, that you talked about. Okay, cool. Now you're prepped, you walk into that front door, it's all fresh in your mind. Right? The to-dos. Other examples, I'm in the pickup truck, we're driving down, customer calls in, hey, I need a seat tote this afternoon. Rep's pulling a Burger King bag off the floor of the cab, and he's writing, right? Seat tote out for whoever the customer was. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, my notebook's back in the back, I just gotta write this down before I forget. Okay, flash forward, generative AI. Hey, Scribe, for Barry Wilkins, I need to get a seat tote this afternoon, mark it urgent. Scribe responds, got it, seat tote, Barry Wilkins, marked urgent. It's now in his to-do list for that customer. So the to-dos from the trip reports automatically added to a dynamic list for the customer. You can add them on the fly just by speaking them, right? Saying Scribe, add it for this customer. Other things which I saw, customers overdue for contact. When I was a sales rep, the minute I hit 80 accounts, the smaller accounts started to fall through the cracks. When I hit 100 accounts, the small medium accounts sometimes started to fall through the cracks. So when I said, hey, reps, how about I build something which reminds you when you're supposed to contact a customer? Some customers are on a 2-month cycle, others monthly, others 4 times a year. Whatever that cycle is, that you know what it is, you've said at the beginning, we'll remind you when that customer is overdue. And we're not going to send it to your boss or the VP of sales. Oh, great. I'm like, no. This is for the sales reps, not for management. It's a friendly reminder list for the reps. What customers are overdue for contact, just so you know, and you can reach out. Last 2 points are for sales management. Tacit information and the cross-selling. There's a lot of information about a farmer and a farm. And when a sales rep retires, changes jobs, or jumps to the competition, there's a significant revenue hit in that territory. Weighted average of all the ag retailers I've talked to, 30%. 10 million quota, that's 3 million. It's real money. And so I said to the VPs, if I can get the sales reps, little by little, drip by drip, to give me the tacit information on the farmer and the farm, so that incoming sales rep in that territory on transition can hit the ground running and already know the account well, is that interesting? Everyone said hands down, because we lose that 30% on order of magnitude to $3 million in lost sales with transition. So we capture the tacit information. And we do it in a way the reps are willing to do it, which is the biggest challenge. Last point on there, the cross-selling. You are energy sales rep, you're visiting a customer, your companion from the agronomy also visits that same customer. As the energy sales rep, you see a Bex truck driving out. Isn't that something your agronomy cohort guy wants to know? Absolutely. So when you're doing a Scribe, you do your sales note. If you mention the sales note, oh, by the way, you're the energy rep doing a sales note, and you mention, oh, I saw a Bex truck leaving, we'll flag that as a little snippet, and we'll push that to the agronomy sales rep in an email saying, hey, by the way, at this customer who you're also visiting, Bex is there, right? So cross-selling opportunities can go either way. Grain marketing, the energy sales rep, or the agronomy sales rep. Right? We support both sides, the sales reps and the management. On the sales rep side, help them do their jobs better, faster, more easily. On the management side, They not only get the productivity increase from the sales reps, but they're also getting that tacit information and the cross-selling. So we're supporting both the users and the buyers. And as I mentioned, it's not a CRM, doesn't want to be a CRM, will never be a CRM as long as I'm involved in this company, because again, sales background, CRM just sends a shiver down my spine, but we can work with any CRM. We sit alongside a CRM. We can push information to it, information from it. We're agnostic. We don't care what CRM is in the company. So we're at booth 204, just down that way. If you want to learn more, see a live demo, please come and check us out. Thank you.